Hello, GPS Kevin here. I'm going to show you how to make GPS track logs using Google Earth. If you want to make your own track logs, this is really a cool tool because you get to use the satellites, the maps, the roads, all that kind of things. So the first thing you want to do is bring up a Google Chrome window or whatever browser you have, so an internet browser window. And well, you're going to want to type in, find Google Maps. So we'll search for Google Maps here. And sure enough, the top link is Google Maps. We'll click on that. And this brings up this view of Google Maps. Now, if you don't have a Google account, you're going to need to get one, and you're going to need to sign in. So you don't have to have Google email or anything, but you do have to tell Google who you are so that they give you an account in this and they remember your maps for you. So Google is recognizing it as me right now, GPS Kevin signed in. So I'm going to go to My Places, and right underneath My Places there is a button here to create a map, but I want to create a map with my classic maps here. So we're going to put it in that mode, and it brings up this window here with these tools up. And notice you can, for instance, hold the cursor and pull the map back and forth or up and down or whichever direction you want to pull it in. Okay, and you can also zoom in with the scroll wheel like this. So I'm going to zoom in to the area, for this example, I'm going to zoom into the area around Big Bear. So let's see, so here's the Salton Sea, so that means San Bernardino's up here, and we'll come over to Big Bear right here. Okay, now when we get in there, let's go ahead and make some track logs in this area. So there's two kinds of track logs that you can make. The first kind is you draw a line, which is you create the line. So in other words, you click the points and that sort of stuff. Or the second one is you draw a line along a road. So let's start with that one because it's actually really cool and you get all of their data for doing this. You get tons of track log points for doing this. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to zoom down here to just above, or just a little west of Fawnskin, and we're going to click on here. And notice how it follows whatever roads it can find. So I'm just going to go up here and say I want to go here, and I'll click a point, and I want to go, let's go ahead and go a ways up further up to here, click a point, and let's go up over to maybe, oh, it's not finding this road. That must not be a road that exists. Well, for this example, that's okay. We'll go up to here, around here, and I can see that this road into this back of this mine doesn't exist. Oh, look at this. This is fun. If I actually click around here, notice it wants to reroute all the way around the mountain and come up the other direction. If I click here, it goes and finds it in here. So I'm going to end my line right here. Okay, and I double click to end it, and it gives me a choice. I'm going to call this section 1. Section 1, enter. Okay, we're done with that. We've created section 1 over here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to find the end of that line again, and now we're going to create maybe a new sort of road here where we're going to make it ourselves. So I'm going to draw the line ourselves. And now I go in here and I start clicking the points. We'll go the other way from the mine this time. And we'll go down this road, which doesn't appear to exist on maps, and create it this way. So we can zoom in as much as we want and create as much detail as we want. And believe you, I have spent hours doing this. It turns out it can take a lot of time, especially when you get faint trails, but this is cool. And so I'm just going to end it here for our quick example. You double click at the end of the line. We're going to call this section 2. section, oops, didn't get that right, SECTIO, section 2, enter. Okay, so now I've created these two sections, and we'll name this map Fun Run. Fun Run Poop. That's kind of my files that I want to throw away later. Let's see. So we'll say we're done here. And what we're looking for here is actually, we want Google Earth to turn these two big lines into track logs for us. And so there's two forms it can do that. Well, there's one form it can do that, which is it'll create a KML file for us. And then we'll take the KML file and we'll turn it into a GPX file. So the quickest way I know to do that is to actually log out. I'm not sure, it tends to pop up here sometime, but I'm going to log out, which is just killing the window. I'm going to go another window and I'm going to log back into Google Maps. I have a hot button here. You could just type it in the same way you want. But anyway, back to Google Maps, back to My Places, and here is my Fun Run Poop file. So we'll click on that, and now it's offering up to me a KML version of this. So I'm going to download that KML version by clicking it, and notice on my computer I have it set up to just download directly here. You might have to go to your download files, but it comes up directly here as a KML. Okay, so now what I want to do is convert that to a GPX so I can open it up in Map Source and work with it that way. So there's a neat website called KML to GPX. It's actually KML to GPX.com, so go there. So what you want to do is you want to upload your file. So I'm going to say choose file, and we're going to go to what I have. I had it in my downloads here. There is the Fun Run Poop. Click on that, and we'll ask it to convert it. Okay, and it says it was converted, and I click here and to download it. And it downloads it. It gives it a silly, funny name here. So now it's a GPX file. You see it down in the corner here? Now it's a GPX file. Now we can take it, and it's a normal Tracklog file. We can open it up in Map Source. So I have my computer set up so it opens directly. So we'll go ahead and open it directly in Map Source. And, oops, did it go? Yeah, there it is. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the Windows things. Remind me later. And here is the two different track logs we just created here in Map Source. Show on map. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Here's the first section. It made all of these points for us. If you zoom in, you can see the detail is quite nice. It made very nice track logs for us. And here's the one that we created by hand, show on map. And now we can use our editor to make one simple ride by taking the first one, taking this combine tracks tool, adding to the second one. We'll rename it, and we'll say Fun Ride 1. And we'll give it a color because I like my track logs to be blue. Here's blue, and we'll view it on the map here again. There's our whole ride in nice detail, all done from, frankly, Google Earth. So that kind of got us away from the Garmin and the Map Source stuff, which was kind of nice. So that's it. You can now download this directly to your GPS if you like, or some of you have old style GPSs. You might need to filter it down so that it's a certain number of points. We're going to filter it right now to be 250, although most of them are 500, but if you have the later models, no need to filter them. So there it is, filtered out. Still a very high quality track log, and that's it. So enjoy. I hope you can make your own track logs.